Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Hard Eyes, which is the latest horror movie from Screen Gems. It takes place on Valentine's Day with a serial killer that goes around killing all these couples on Valentine's Day. And this happens every year. Every single year, this killer goes around, known as the Hard Eyes Killer, and just kills all these couples, and yet nobody has ever seemed to stop him. Anyway, he soon has his sights set on two people, one played by Olivia Holt and the other Mason Gooding, as they are not a couple, that are not romantically involved. They are just two co-workers, and they try to survive the night and see if they themselves can stop the Hard Eyes Killer. When I saw the trailers for this movie, I thought it was going to be dreadful, because usually whenever I see the Screen Gems logo in front of a horror movie, I always know that I'm in for something really shitty. But the early word of mouth on this movie was pretty positive, and one person in particular that was championing this movie was C. Robert Cargill, a former film critic who has gone on to co-write Sinister, Doctor Strange, and The Black Phone. And usually if he says a movie's really great, then I tend to be on his side. So with that said, I went into Hard Eyes with a little more optimism, I should say, not hope, and I walked out of it thinking, that was a lot of fun. This movie is about as old school a slasher movie as it can get. You've got this masked killer going around killing young, attractive people. He walks constantly while his victims run, and yet somehow he always catches up with them. It's about as basic as it can be, but the thing that really makes this movie better than most movies of this type are the two leads. This movie is just as much a romantic comedy as it is a slasher movie, and both Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding both are really good together. They have great chemistry. There's a lot of humor throughout involving the two of them that really works. Some really fun dialogue here and there. And it definitely has a very lighthearted feeling to it. Similar to movies like Happy Death Day, which isn't a shocker considering that Christopher Landon produced and co-wrote this movie. And to be honest, all the rom-com stuff I found to be the better aspects of the movie. I was more engaged in that than I was the slasher stuff, which isn't to say the slasher stuff is bad, but it doesn't really reinvent the wheel. And maybe it didn't need to, because it's got the rom-com side to it. The slasher elements are very much what you expect from this kind of movie, and the kills, I gotta say, are pretty brutal. There's some standard kills here and there, like a slice there, a hack there, but there's one kill at the end of this movie that is so brutal, so gnarly, that I will be shocked if this does not get Dead Meat's Golden Chainsaw for Coolest Kill when they cover this movie on their channel, because it is that spectacular. If there are any issues that I have with Hard Eyes, it's that I think there are too many moments where it's too reliant on other slasher movies. I have no problem with the masked killer going around as slowly as possible and catching up with his victims that run. That stuff doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that this is from the producers of the newer Scream movies. Not Radio Silence, but it's the same production company, and there's a point in this movie where it just straight up turns into Scream. I'm not gonna say in which way this movie becomes Scream, but I will say that when it happens, it felt really trite and kind of deviated from the charm that this movie had beforehand. It's not enough to ruin the movie, but when you see it, you know that, oh, this is very much Scream. Another thing that doesn't work is that, while I think a lot of the comedy works between your two leads, there are some bits of comedy that are just so on the nose and took me out of the movie. So there are two detective characters in this movie. One of them is played by Jordana Brewster from the Fast and Furious movies. One detective is named Hobbs, the other is named Shaw. There is a moment when Olivia Holt's character meets the two of them and goes, "Oh, Hobbs and Shaw from the movie, did you ever see the movie?" And they're just standing there like, no, haven't seen it, never heard of it. And I thought, come on guys, that's way too on the nose. Like, did you write that joke into this movie just because you had Jordana Brewster in it and you wanted to make a Fast and Furious reference? If you did, you didn't do a good job, because she's not even in Hobbs and Shaw. That was the only moment in the movie where I really did just roll my eyes. I'm like, come on. But other than that, this was probably the most fun I've had in a non-Scream slasher movie in a long time. It's got some great kills, it is pretty suspenseful at points, and this movie is really carried by its two leads. Both of them have a ton of charisma, very charming together, and it was more of a cute rom-com with horror elements to it. So I'm gonna say good, but not great. Funny how this movie came out just 1 week after Companion, which is another rom-com horror movie, but I'd say that Companion is the better of the two films. If you're a horror guy, you should check out Hard Eyes because it is that fun, but if you're not really into horror, then I'd say Companion is more up your alley because that movie, I think, is just all kinds of brilliant. This movie, it's really good for what it is, just not amazing. And there you go, that's my review for Hard Eyes. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I also want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow, and if you want to help to financially support the channel and get access to perks no one else gets, you can join YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Hard Eyes. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.